like, we walk up and they're like, okay, and they're like, hey, we want to just show you what this is gonna look like. And so we hit the button and it was like, wham! And both Jared and I were like, nope. I think Jared just walked away. He's like, nope, not gonna happen.
Set double.
Like, no, it's like, you know, it's got steel plates of reinforcement, and I'm like, yeah, what happens if it just bends a little? And Jared's like, what happens if it just bends a little?
What if you were shot in the face?
What if you were shot in the face?
Speaking of, another, Herpexia was also funny. And Yellow Fever, the snake on the couch.
You were scared.
Yes, I took off.
It was on me.
But it goes so, it's like... I literally left. They had to like change the camera angle. I was
the
like...
The size of the snake's head was bigger than my fist. And I turned around. Here's the problem. The snake wrangler, who was laying down behind the couch.
This thing was like 180 pounds or something like that.
It was a 180-pound python. And he was supposed to just gingerly feed it over the couch. Just guide it right over the couch and you know, over my shoulder. I started hearing this like grunting going on. The snake is not cooperating with its handler. And I kind of look over the couch, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but he's doing this. He's like trying to throw this, he's kicking it, he's like punching it, and I'm like, don't send that my way! I got 180 pounds of pissed off snake coming over.
And the way the scene was written was Sam was supposed to be like laughing at his brother's discomfort, but I was like, this is terrifying, I'm out of here. So I just walked up.
I have this like log coming over my shoulder. And Jared just gets up, he's like, nope. Not doing it. Meanwhile, it's like, okay, well, I can't move. Because I'm frozen in terror right now.
It was the first time I've ever just flat out refused to do something that's in the script. And I didn't think I was going to
have to do anything.
I know. But I didn't think I was going to refuse it, but I was like, nope, I'm gone. And so I walked out and I ended up in Video Village where the director sits, and Phil looked at me and he's like, hey, you're supposed to be in there. And I was like, I think he saw it in my face. He didn't question or push me. I think he just saw it in my face and was like, okay, I guess go tie it around Jensen. So that we couldn't see that Sam was no longer sitting on the couch.
And what you didn't see, they actually cut away, but you know, we see the snake come over my chest and kind of down, and it actually went right between my legs. And I'm not moving at this point. I'm just like, just let it do what it's gonna do. Just let it run its course, because I'm not moving. And it did, it went right and just right down, and the whole 9 feet of it. What's happening by there?
Was that for you then, the awkward things to film?
Yeah, I didn't like that. or the bees. Hey guys, we just need to make sure you're not allergic to bees. And if you get stung,
how do you do that?
And you get stung, you're not gonna go into anaphylactic shock. What? Okay, how do you do that? You like to, smear something on you? Like, actually, we're just gonna take this bee and sting you with it. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, it's only a 3/4 sting. And I'm not kidding. So they put this little piece of mesh on your skin, and then they hold a live bee with tweezers, and then they just stick the stinger, and it goes just through the mesh enough to get like half its stinger in you, and then they pull it out. It doesn't come off the bee, so the bee's fine.
Yeah,
but I'm not, because now I just got stung by a bee, and I've got this welt now happening on my arm. And they're like, okay, it's been 30 minutes, you're fine. I'm like, yeah, except for this, goiter on my arm right now.
It's also funny because they've asked us to do some wacky stuff on Supernatural. Jump out of this window. Don't worry, I know you can't see, but there's going to be a pad you're going to land on 12 feet down. You're like, cool. I'm like, spin this car into a 360, and then you're fighting this guy. Ram your head through that wall. We're like, cool. They're like, we're going to sting you with a bee. We're like, no.
But then to make things worse, it's like, okay guys, time to go into set. And we walk in, all of the crew have bee outfits on. Guess what? Sam and Dean don't get to wear bee outfits. They're in regular clothing. And then the bee wrangler.
On the day of shooting.
On the day of shooting. I'm like, how many we talking here? Like a couple hundred? And he's like, there's actually 60,000. I'm like,
but don't worry, they're drone bees.
I'm now going into anaphylactic shock.
They're drone bees. They're not going to sting you.
Yeah,
unless you piss them off.
Bees. As long as you stay calm, they're calm. And I'm like, okay, stay calm. Wait a minute. When they yell action, I have a blowtorch.
Yeah, and we're supposed to be swatting
cool with that? And he goes, oh.
And then we're like, well, what about, so you're going to release 60,000 bees, but then we're going to have to go back to the beginning of the scene where there were no bees for like take 2 and take 3 in different camera angles. He's like, yeah, we're going to vacuum them up. I was like, doesn't that piss him off? He's like, only if we do it a bunch of times. I was like, a bunch like, 20 or 30. He's like, yeah, if we do it like 3 or 4 times, they're going to be a little angry. We're like, we're going to do it like 12, 15 times.
Needless to say, we got stung. I remember just before Kim, our director, just before he yelled action, they were like, okay, roll sound, and I mean, they're all over the place. Roll sound, okay, and then the camera system comes up and it's like, okay, 34 Baker, take 2. They have a marker, they run off, and I'm like kind of crouched down, and I'm like kind of flicking bees, they're on me, just landing on me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, find a happy place, find a happy place. And they're like, okay, ready, and just before he yelled action, boom! One had gone right up my shirt and got me right on the upper part of my seat.
Took us.
And he was like, ready, and I was like, wait! And I reached back there and actually pulled the stinger out. I was like, okay! And then the worst part about it, the bees didn't read on film, so they ended up.
And there's, some of the great things that I enjoy about doing what we do on the show is sometimes we do things that we wouldn't necessarily ever get to do in real life, like drive a car backwards and flip it around and do a reverse 180, or kill vampires, or kick down doors.
Wait, what do you mean we don't get to do it in real life? I heard that the door was kicked down last night.
Well, unless a situation arises in real life where some of those skills could be put to use.
Like what?
So last night. True story. We get home from dinner, and it's getting late. Dinner was a little later. People go out a little later than normal here, I think. Are we totally off on that? No. Okay. So it was a little later than normal. We get back to the hotel a little later than anticipated. And it was like, okay, we gotta go to bed. Like, we gotta wake up early. So we all went to our respective floors, and I went to my room and put the key in. Back on the elevator, back down to the lobby. My key doesn't work. Here, try a new key. Thank you. Back up the door, key, nothing. Key, nothing. Key, nothing. Then Dean started to be born. So I go back downstairs and I'm like, no working. And
That's not French.
he understood it. Then he's like, let me use my key. So he comes up with his master key and he nothing. Master key, nothing. He's like, oh, I don't know what this is not good. Yeah, keep in mind, it's late. It's after midnight. And I'm tired, and I want to go to bed. And I know I gotta get up and put on a show for you guys, because that's why we're here and that's what we love to do. And so He's like, I'm sorry, it's not, I will call the maintenance guy. So maintenance guy comes up with his own tool belt, and he basically does the exact same thing that we've been doing. Puts the key in, no, it's not working. I'm like, yes, we've established that it's not working. How do we get it to work? I don't have the tools that are required to do this. We're going to have to call a locksmith. Okay. Do that then. There is no locksmith, it's 24 hours. There's nothing that we have to wait till the morning. Well, that's not gonna work for me. The front desk guy is like, well, we will get you into another room, the presidential suite. I'm like, I don't care about the president. I want to get into my room, and I want to get into it now so that I can go to bed and wake up and go to work. There's no things that we can do today. I'm so sorry. What would you like us to do? Get in my room! I want to get... And I'm like, listen, if you can't get into my room, I will get into my room. And he's like, I'm sorry? And I said, are you saying that you cannot open this door? Is that, yes, is it impossible? Okay, I'm gonna kick the door in. And he just goes, okay. And I was like, that's all I needed. Walked over, slid the furniture that was in the hallway aside, stepped back, boom! It exploded the door and left a hole in it like this big. It was basically the entire mechanism of the locking mechanism. I thought the door would swing open and then the door jamb would have broken, but no, the entire lock and handle and iron plate that it was on went through the door. And I looked at him, I go, you're gonna need a new door. Good night. Open, the door swung open nice and free. It closed with a big giant hole in it, and I went to bed.
The upshot of that story is, anybody here could have spied on him in his sleep last night.
At that point, I didn't care. I mean, I give it to the staff there. They did, honestly, I don't think it ever crossed their mind that the big Texan standing before them was going to murder their hotel room. I think his response, okay? Was more like, I'm not quite sure I understand what you're saying to me. But I didn't wait for him to figure it out. I just destroyed the door. So
long story short, his favorite part of being on the show is learning important life skills.
But Spade actually said something to me. I think it was Spade. No, it was Rob. It was Rob. Rob said something. He was like, do you think that if you didn't kick down doors all the time on the show, that idea would have ever crossed your mind? I'm like, I don't think it would have. But we kick down doors all the time. I'm like, this is obviously the progression of things to do. You try the key. If it does not work, you try a maintenance man. If that doesn't work, you break the freaking door down with your foot. You're gonna need a new door. And see.
I was just wondering if you had any cute or funny stories to share about your kids and your family.
I kicked a door in last night. I don't know if you heard that one. It was pretty cool.
We had a